Hello and welcome to taik18. I'm Ahmad Adnan, and in this video we are going to discuss about lifecycle management in Fabric. Yeah, it is a new feature introduced from Microsoft in Fabric, so we'll go in depth inside to this video. So please stay tuned till the end so that you can get more clarity on that. If you're new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, just hit the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. Now let's get started. So let me share my screen. All right, so this is application lifecycle management. And now, as per the terms, what it is, I will tell you that also in practical, but just to brief you about that. Microsoft Fabric's lifecycle management tool provides a standardized system for communication and collaboration between all the members of the development team throughout the life of a product. So lifecycle management facilitates an effective process for releasing products quickly, continuously delivering updates content into the production, and ensuring an ongoing flow of the new feature and bug fixes using the most efficient delivery method. So there are two main components of Microsoft Fabric which we have. So one thing is like what we have it here, basically this Git, which is a newly introduced one. And the next thing is the deployment pipeline. So deployment pipeline. Basically, I have already covered on my video series what is the deployment pipeline. We already know about what is the deployment pipeline. That actually we do the data, we do the reporting from development and then to testing or quality and then final production. So that's how the deployment pipeline works. But what is the use of Git? So Git is basically mainly used for the version controls. Not only the version control, we can also collaborate with multiple people on the same project together. So right now, if you are working on a Power BI, you may be aware of that you may not able to contribute more than one people at a single project at one go. Let's say, for example, let me add a new page here. Let's say, for example, we have multiple developers, right? And we have a developer one here. Okay, we have a developer one, and then we have a developer two. So he is a kind of visual expert we have, and he is a kind of not visual expert, but he is aware of data model side. So he can work on the Power Query side and he can work on the UI and UX kind, UI or UX scheme. So right now, if both of this developer want to work on the same project, it's not possible, right? First of all, they need to work on these people and then they can able to communicate with these people. They need to share the file with them and then they need to deploy this into this development workspace. So this is how it works. And then we'll take it further using deployment pipeline from development to test and then finally to the product version. So this is actually what we used to do as usual. But the introduction of this kit is basically two purposes. One is it can help us on the version control, what we have here, version control. Because if we do any kind of changes to the report, existing report, and that actually not the feasible solution, we need to revert back to the previous state. So in that case, we can have a version control. So we don't lose any of our informations. And that's one thing. And also about the multi-developer. Multiple people we can collaborate on, multiple people we can work on. So that's the main purpose of these two. What in that case, what will actually work? So version control actually keeps a track of it. Right now, people are using SharePoint as a kind of version control because SharePoint has an inbuilt feature of version control. Whenever you copy and paste from your local drive to the SharePoint, it's going to create a separate version for that. So if you need an old version of the file, then you can just download the old version and can redo your process in Power BI file. Not only Power BI, it also works for the same way for the Excel and Word kind of thing. But the multiple member thing here is the important thing for the Git. Like if the data model wants to work, this developer wants to work on the data model Power Query side, he can work on that and then publish the file into the Git. And in the meantime, if the visual developer wants to work on the visual thing, then he can also do that. So at the same time, and then they can do the changes and then publish into a centralized place. And from there, we can merge that file. So that's how it actually works. So I'm going to show you in detail how it actually works, but this is just an overview of that. So first of all, there are certain prerequisites which you need in order to work on this feature. So it's basically, here is my Notion document. There are kind of 12 steps which we have, but still a lot of things which we need to cover. I will cover it here. The first thing is what we need here is the Power BI Premium Workspace. So we need to have a Power BI Premium Workspace in order to do that. And not only premium, we also need to have a fabric in that case. If you are working on a fabric trial, we can also use that, or we can use our existing Power BI Premium, because Power BI Premium is automatically going to convert into fabric, right? So that's the reason. So we need a fabric license or Power BI Premium license, and then we need to load the content into the workspace. That's obviously necessary. And then finally connect the team's development workspace to Git. So this is a kind of lengthy process which I'm going to show you. And then we have a create a deployment pipeline options, and finally deploy content to other stages and create an isolated workspace. I will also tell you the reason why we need to create an isolated workspace, and then edit the workspace, commit the changes, create the pull request and merge. So if you are aware of the Git terminology about what it actually works, I'm going to cover that in basic things which is required for this development phase. But still, if you want to go in detail about that, let me know in the comment section below. I will try to make a video on that. Or also you can search on the web. There are a lot of videos and posts about that. You can learn from that. And also update shared workspace and compare stages in deployment pipeline and deploy to test state. So this is a kind of prerequisite which is given by Microsoft by default. But before to that, even before to that, the above prerequisite, we need to finish off these things, which is enable fabric trial, add a YouTube video for about the fabric. So if you are aware about how you can enable the fabric trial, then no need to worry about that. If you are not aware of that, then I will add the video description on this one so that you can also go through my video which I made previously, how you can do that. And finally, we need to set up the Git. Then only we can able to do that. I will also share some document about that, but still I will start with Git now because the other things we can do it also later stage. But first of all, I want to cover the Git, how you can set up initially on your organizations. Right now, I don't have any kind of video which is going to show you here, but I will just show you step-by-step screenshot which I have taken while generating for my organization here. So first of all, you need to go to your Azure portal, portal.azure.com, and then on the top search bar, once you log in, you will get this search option here. And once you log in here, where you can get this option, type Azure DevOps. So it will give you the option Azure DevOps organizations. And once you click on that, it's going to give you an option about Azure DevOps and plan smarter, collaborate better, and ship faster with setup modern dev services. And at the bottom, you see we have option here, My Azure DevOps Organization. Just click on this one. It's going to open a new page where you need to create your organization. So this is basically the first step if you have not yet created any organizations on your company. If you're already using it, then you don't need to worry about this step. You can skip this entire content. So once you click on that, it will log into your one, and then the next page you have option to create a new organization. So you need to click on this one, and then it will give a pop-up message where you need to fill all those information here. So right now I have just given a name here like 1801 as an organization, and then this is a South India. I'm here and we need to pass the captcha here and click on continue. So once you do so, it's going to open up this one, and it has added a project on, I mean, it has added organizations on the right side, on the left side of your screen. And then next you need to create your new projects, right? This is a screen. On the right side, you have option about create a project to get started. You need to give it a name and then the visibility, whether it is public or private, and then you can just click on create project. So first of all, we need to create organizations, and inside the organization, we need to create projects, and inside to that, we can create multiple folders, and then we can add our files and everything over there. So that's the only thing which we need to do here. And once you do so, I have just given a name here as taik18 ALM underscore 01, and it has given me this screen here. On the left hand side, we have these many options here, which is overview, summary, board, repo, pipeline, test plan, artifacts. But currently, we are going to work only on the repos here, where we are going to load all the files and other things here. So this is one thing. And then first of all, click on the repo on the left menu and then click on the files option. It will expand this version. You need to click on the files. And at the bottom of this screen, you have this option, initialize main branch with a readme file or git ignore. So I just click on the add a readme file and then click on initialize, because we need to create a main branch and then we need to create a sub branch of out of it. So the main branch what we have just used here. So I just initialize this one so that it can create a main branch over there. And after creating this is how it will look like. And files here, and we have this project repository, and this is the final version. And on the top you see the main window here. That's it. So this is the part of the Git which you need to do. And the next thing is, in order to work on the Git thing, you need to enable certain features in your admin portal. So you need to have a Power BI admin role in order to do that. But if you don't have admin role, then you need to contact your admin so that they can enable that. So they had to go to admin portal and then go to tenant setting and then search for Git integration. And here you have the option user can export items to Git repository in other geographical locations. So you need to enable this one and then only it can work on that. The reason why I want you to do this one is because for me, the data which I'm using in Power BI is available on the US, but this Git is actually available on South India, which we have seen on the screenshot, right? So that's the reason it is different geographical location, it will not work. So we need to enable that. But if you don't do that one, then you will get this message, unable to connect to repository. This workspace is in a different region. Go to the workspace admin settings to enable the cross region connection. So that's the reason I want you to do this one. And finally, what you need to do here, you need to create a workspace in Power BI service. And from now on, I will just show you the demo in Power BI service. All right. So I will add this required documents on my video link here. All right. So first of all, I have this workspace here. Let me create one more thing here. Food sales WS as a workspace. Food sales WS 2. I'm just giving a name here 2 here so that I can understand easily in future. And this is now I'm using fabric trial. So click on trial and then click apply. So right now we don't have any file here. I'm just either I can upload it from Power BI desktop, or I can just publish from Power BI desktop, or I can upload it from here. I click on upload and then click on browse. And then I'm selecting this file, click on upload. So this is a dummy file which I'm going to use that. I mean default file which comes from Microsoft. Okay, while this is importing, we need to go now to option, click here and the workspace settings. So on the workspace setting, we have these many features here. About is basically it gives the information about the name of the workspace, description and domain, which you can add here. By the way, if you are not aware of what is the domain feature, I have made a separate video on that. Please go and check out that as well. And the premium, which we can select the which version we need, and a small or large dataset format. And Azure connection, if you have data like Gen 2, you can connect here, and the storage option which is giving here. And finally, we have here the Git integration, where we need to connect here, connect Git repository and branch. This option. So here this will give the list of drop downs where we need to select your organization to be this one, taik1801, which I have created as an organization. And the project is like ALM01, and repository is basically this one. And finally, we have a branch. Either we can connect to our main branch or we can create a new branch for that. So I'm clicking on the main branch here for now. And if you have a new folder, then you can do that. Or if you don't have, then I'll just add here as a YouTube, for example, YouTube demo 1 or demo 2 itself, because that's sync the name of all those things. Okay, once you do so, so the reason why I use main branch is this is the first time which I'm publishing it over there, right? So that's the reason. And click on connect and sync. So once you do so, it is giving me a message here. YouTube demo 2 doesn't exist. Would you like to create a new? Yes, I want to create a new folder and then sync over there. So once you click on that, this will start generating this one, and we get a new column over here as a Git status. On this top, it has giving me options. Your content was synced here. And then you see here it is sync, and then giving unsupported here. So this is a report file, this is a datasets file, and this is Power BI dashboard basically. So dashboard currently not supported in the Git status. Not only the dashboard, actually the fabric items like the lake house where it is not supported for now because still it is in preview, but it will support in near future. So we don't need to worry about that, but the concept, everything will remain the same. So it is now synced here. Now let's go to our Power BI, I mean the Azure portal. So this is my repository here. Once I click on this file here, and I have just logged in here. Now I can see two folders here. So this is YouTube demo 2 is the one which I used here. And interestingly, if you see, we have this file name and then two different things here. One is dataset, another is a report thing. So if I expand the dataset, it actually has a multiple files inside to this one. So that's the reason now the developers can work, multiple people can work on single project. So definition of this Power BI dataset, it has a content, all these files here, and item configuration, everything in JSON format. You can view it here. Now, what we have done here so far, we did the setting of this our Git and then setting on the Power BI service, and then we have deployed into the version control. That's it. So that's the first thing. Now, the next developer comes in here. So what and how they can do that? So for now, I am the second developer, for example. But if for to go to that, let's go to these settings here. I mean, what we have prerequisite steps here. Okay, so create a premium workspace, which we have done, and the load content, which is done. Connect the team's development to the workspace Git, which is also done, and create development pipeline, which I will cover lately, and deploy content to other stages. So that's also part of that. Create an isolated workspace. This thing. Okay. So now we need to create another workspace. So this is basically, let's assume that this is for developer 1, and the developer 2 want to access this content so that they can also deploy over there. So now let me show you tell you one thing. So right now, this is basically we have workspace 2, which is basically the main one, and also this is the development version, right? And then we need to use the development pipeline to work development, and then to test, and then to prod. Now, the main branch user cannot modify directly over there. They need to create a separate branch, and then they need to do the modifications, and finally they need to push it to Git, and from Git only we can able to merge it into the main branch. So that's how the process. In order to do that, what we need to do is here, the developer 1, this is basically the developer 1, and the developer 2 actually has to create a new workspace. For example, workspace 2A, I'm just giving it here as a 2A, and then you need to create a branch from this main one, which I'll show you how it has been done. And once it is deployed, I mean, he has finished all his activities, then he can just push it back again to the main branch using the Git itself, not directly into the workspace. And from here, they can have to take and place this other the process here. That's how it actually works. So in practical now, I will go to the workspace here and create a new workspace, which I will give it here as development 2. uh, food says ws2, and then this is should be underscore dev2. Okay, and this has to be same the fabric trial lessons, and click on apply. But I will show you one more thing here. If I go to the workspace and click on this one, and again go to the workspace settings, which is on the top here, and go to the Git integration option. Here it is fixed here, like 18 project, Git repository, another thing here. But if you want to switch it to some other thing, then also you can click on disconnect workspace and then connect to the other things here. All right. So this is the one. And now let's go back to this new workspace, which we have created here, developer 2. And here we don't see anything here because we don't have any data here. And click on the workspace setting now. And again, go to the Git integration here, select the same thing, organization, project, and then the Git repository. And also this to be the main branch you need to create, right? But here you need to click on new branch because you are not connecting to the main branch now. You are just connecting to your separate branch. So you need to click on new branch here and give it a name here. So I'll just give here WS2 and then dev2 branch 01. Okay, and create from where we need to create. I just want to create it from the main branch here and then click on create. So this is going to create a branch over there, but it's just going to create a branch. It is not going to get the content from the main branch. In order to get the content from the main branch, so which folder you want to connect? So actually the data what I have it here on this folder, right? YouTube demo 2. I'll just copy this YouTube demo 2 and then paste it over here. So everything remains the same, and there's a new branch and the Git folder. And then click on connect and sync. Now you'll see it start connecting to this workspace, and we got a message, you have unsynced commit from Git. We recommend that you update from Git before you continue working. And you see it is loading the data automatically from the Git to this workspace. That's amazing, right? So it is loading the food sales data set here, and also it will also load the report. Yeah, it is done. So now the Git status is also synced here. Everything is perfect. Fine. Now, let's assume that you want to make some data changes on the data model. If you click here, and then you see the option open data model is not available here. But you can download it into Power BI desktop and then make the changes and then publish again to this same workspace. That's possible. But for example, if you want to edit on the workspace itself, then again you need to go to your setting here, workspace setting, and expand this Power BI options and then click on general. Here you have options. User can edit data models in the Power BI service, which is still in preview. You need to enable these options. So once you click on that and then click again the three dot icon on the data set, there you will get an option about open data model. So I'm going to open this data model now. As being a data model developer, I just need to work only on the data model side, which is already created these things here. Now we need to click on new measure. For example, if I want to make any changes, let's assume that I want to create a count of customers measure. So I will just use here customer count here equal to count rows of customer. This is a simple measure which I want to add here and then click on commit now. All right, this is automatically saved. Here you have a message on the top, hello. Keep in mind your changes will be permanent and automatically saved. So that's the important thing which you need to do. You're editing on the Power BI service thing. And then clicking on again the workspace options. Now you see we have a different status. For this one, it is uncommitted here. That's for the data set. But for the report, we have not made any changes. So it is still the same thing. Now it is showing as uncommitted. And also on the top, you have the source control equal to 1, which is we have some changes on this one. And once you click on that, it is just giving me a branch here and changes. I just need to give the information what I have made the changes. So added measure customer count. And we need to take this what are the items which we want to sync from this update, because there will be chances that you have multiple workspace and you are still working on some of the updates on the data set, and some of them you have already finished. So you just need to take only those data set whatever you need on this particular change request and then click on commit. So once you click on the commit, what you need to do here, it is just going on the top, your selected changes were committed. Awesome. So you need to inform to your other developers so that he can look back into the Azure portal, I mean the DevOps. So on the DevOps, if you click on the branches on the left side, inside to the report section, then he will see a new branch. Yeah, if you see it here, food sales VS2 Dev 2 branch 1. That's what the name I have given here. So that's amazing. We need to open up this one and then we can just study what they have made the changes inside to this one. And then you have option here to pull request. So create pull request. So if you click on the create pull request, then only it's going to pull the information over here and then it can merge into the new branch, I mean the main branch. So this is the thing, if you want to fill up all this information like description, reviewers and work items and tags, it's actually tied up with all the Azure DevOps activity. If you want to attach to this one, you can also do that. That's amazing actually. Everything comes into one single place because that's the lagging thing, but it's enabled here. And click on create. So once you do so, it's going to give the option here and we want to approve it or not. So I just want to approve this one so that it can merge into the main branch. And finally, we have option about to complete. Click on the complete now. So it's going to complete this and then merge no fast forward and post completion completed associate work item after merging, delete this branch after merging, customize merge commit message. But this is actually the good thing. Whenever a user creates a branch and then publish into this Git, and if you are making any pull request, then you need to delete the branch so that they don't need to change anything after that. If they want to make any changes, then they need to again create a new branch and then make the changes and then push it again to Git. That's the easy way so that you can maintain clear Git. So I have just used the delete option here and then click on complete merge. This is going to update these things into this workspace. Now I just updated this one, right? And then if I go back to this one, it is showing a sync here. Now let's go back to the other workspace. This is a one food sales VS2. And here you will see the status here, update required. That's a good thing, right? It just gives the information. You have unsynced comment from Git. We recommend that you update the Git before you continue working. This is an important message for the user so that they can also work on that before doing any changes inside to this one. So update required, click on the source control again, and here this will load the content. You need to select. You don't have option here, select option, but you just have only option to update all. That's actually a good thing, right? If you want to merge this thing, then it will do automatically those things here. But before that, you just need to update everything. Now everything is supported now, and it is synced here between the main branch and this branch. Cool, but still one more thing. Again, if I go to this workspace as a developer too, now here's the challenge, right? If I click on source control, but before that, you see the Git status is showing as dashed as. It is showing that I don't have any branch. But if I click on the source control now, it is giving me a message here, the Git branch was deleted. So go to the workspace setting to disconnect the deleted branch and switch to a new branch. That's really a good thing, right? Because I don't want to keep on using the same brand which is already published. I just go here and then here in the branch section, I just want to click here and then click on new branch. I just give it a new branch as a branch 2 kind of thing and then make all the changes. That's my thing so that we can keep clean our Git repository. So this is how we need to do all this stuff. But here, if I come back again, so we have edit the workspace and commit the changes, create PR image here, update and shared workspace, compare state deployment pipeline. Now it's the time to deploy it on the Power BI pipeline. Well, okay, so now the main workspace what we have, this one basically the development 2, development 3 kind of thing, it will be an isolated workspace for every developer so that they can work, they can sync into this own workspace and then make the changes and publish into the Git. That's how it actually works. But the main workspace what we have is WS2, which we need to keep here. And from here, we need to create development pipeline. Right now, let's assume that this is the development workspace and then click on create deployment pipeline. So it's going to create a deployment pipeline and we need to give it a name here. Let's give it a name here, food sales WS deployment pipeline, and then click on create. So once you click on that, this is going to be the development one. It is giving me a message where we need to assign this one. So I will assign this to a development one, assign, and then we need to move this to test and then production. The production one you need to share with the other people. So expand here so that I have this all the information here. Now we need to click on deploy. This is going to deploy it onto the test version and then click here. It will automatically create a workspace so that it can sync together even in future. So that's a good thing if you do all this process step by step at the initial stage while you're working for your organization. So that's how it works. It will take a little bit time based on your data volume, what and how you have. It is done. And then finally, you need to deploy it to production. I'm just doing it for the video purpose and just simultaneously at the one go, but actually it has to be deployed to the test version. And once it is tested and verified, then only you have to deploy it on the production. And from production, you can share with the other business colleagues for real production use. And on the workspace list here, you see now it has added here workspace, WS, production, and test. So these are the 3 things which we need to use mainly. And the developer 2 is only for that particular developer to use that. All right, this is all about the Git ALM feature in Fabric. If you like this video, just hit the big thumbs up button. If you are new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed it, just click on the big thumbs up button. If you are new to this channel or if you haven't subscribed it, just click on the big subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get notifications. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.